I'm going to walk through some general tips for things to look at when you're tuning your MirageDrive so that you can get the best experience on the water. Following that, we'll overview some basic maintenance instructions for prolonging the life of your drive. To prepare for your maiden voyage with your MirageDrive, check the cable tension and make sure there's a little bit of give. If they feel too tight, you want to back these nylock nuts off just slightly. A couple turns or even a half turn goes a long way. There's nylock nuts on both sides of the drive to adjust the cable tension. So when you're tuning the MirageDrive cable tension, just be sure that you make it as even as possible on each side. So you want to look to see if the same amount of threads are exposed beyond the nylon part of the nut on both sides of the drive. If you have an older drive that you've been using for some time, or you've accidentally adjusted the cables to too loose of a tension, you run the risk of skipping gears, and you don't want that to happen. Just turn the nut clockwise again to get it to the right tension. Back it off by turning the nut counterclockwise to relieve some tension. When adjusting the friction on your MirageDrive cranks, start by tightening this bolt down all the way with a 732 Allen key. After that, you can back it off incrementally to relieve some tension, but you don't want to back it off too far because the cranks need to be held solidly to the drum to prevent flex at the top of the drive. A little flex is okay, but you don't want a ton of flex because you would risk this pin coming out of one of the holes as you pedal. One last tuning point on your MirageDrive 180 is going to be the length of the fin mast. So you want to remove this split ring and clevis pin to expose the fin mast. Slide the fin off. At the bottom of the fin mast, there's a small Allen key screw. It also has grooves around the side so you can grab it with a pair of pliers. Turning it clockwise and shortening the screw will give you more freedom in your pedaling motion. Unthreading the screw slightly so you have a longer mast will put more tension on your pedal stroke. No matter which model MirageDrive kayak I choose, on any given day I prefer the fin tension to be set at the loosest setting, meaning this screw at the end of the fin mast is threaded all the way in. This allows me to pedal for a longer distance with less fatigue. When it comes to general MirageDrive maintenance at the end of your day on the water, a fresh water rinse to clear debris, salt, and sand, and a quick shot of lubrication at the lubrication points on the drive go a long way. Hobie offers a multi-lube. It's a general food-grade, environmentally safe lubricant. The larger bottle comes with a spray top for spraying and lubricating those chains to mitigate rust and help your MirageDrive pedal smoothly. This smaller bottle has a needle applicator that allows you to get into those hard-to-reach places. Moving from top to bottom, you're first going to want to lubricate this pin so it functions smoothly. Just put the needle in here, drop a couple drops of lubricant around the perimeter, and activate the pin a couple times. The next thing you want to lubricate is around this part that sits into your click and go system on the drive. So just a little bit there. And lubricating just the ends of this and the little bits of exposed cable in here will help mitigate rust and corrosion. Although this is high quality stainless steel material, it'll still help prolong the life of your drive. Next, with the spray bottle, I like to spritz just the chains and then pedal my MirageDrive back and forth by hand 4 or 5 times to spread the lubricant evenly across the chains. Moving down to the spine of the drive, you've got a lot of critical points to lubricate. You want to get the needle tip applicator in here facing toward the back of the drive and put a couple drops of lubricant there. Then you want to move to the center of the drive, put a couple drops in here. You've got some bearings in there that benefit from lubrication. And then again, facing the needle tip applicator toward the center of the drive, a couple drops in here. And then lastly, facing forward toward the front of the drive, you want to squirt with the needle tip applicator just a couple drops of lubricant in there. Pick the drive up and give it a couple pedal strokes back and forth to spread the lubricant evenly, and you're in business. To lubricate the 180 shifter mechanisms on the spine, you're going to want to do a half shift and let it stop there. You can turn the fins a little bit to expose the lubrication points, and you want to get just the top just a little bit and a couple drops in here, trying not to directly lubricate the spectral line. Same thing on this other one. 1 or 2 drops at each corner, and then a little tiny bit just spread on the top and the bottom of this mechanism here, trying to steer clear of the spectral lines. Shift the drive completely to one direction or the other, and back again into reverse, and one more time to forward, and the lubricant should be spread evenly across the shifting mechanism. When tuning and maintaining a GT drive with either turbo or standard fins, the same rules apply. You'll want to keep an eye on the cable tension so that they have a slight bit of pliability and that they're not too stiff and not too loose. Again, too loose of cables can cause you to skip gears, and you don't want that to happen because that'll be quite uncomfortable. And the other point of difference is the fin tension mechanism. This bronze knob will turn clockwise for more tension and counterclockwise to release tension. So find that sweet spot for yourself and adjust there. There's little teeth here so you can grab it with a pair of pliers, and you can also do it by hand. Lastly, the bolt holding the MirageDrive crank to the drum is a hex head rather than an Allen key bolt. So adjust that clockwise for more friction and counterclockwise for less friction. You want the MirageDrive crank to be stable while still allowing you to adjust freely fore or aft. Lubrication points on this GT drive will be the adjustment pin for the MirageDrive crank, this pin here in the center of the drum, and the spine here, each gap here, and again at the very front of the drive in here. Lastly, you want to spritz the chain with the spray tip applicator and move the MirageDrive back and forth through several pedal strokes to distribute the lubrication evenly. Thanks for watching, and for many more tips, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel or check out the product support page on Hobie.com.